Hello chicas, finally my throat and my talking game is coming back, so yeah, it looks like finally I can resume proper YouTubing, and today on the menu is going to be a topic that I look to discover and talk about more deeply later down the track, and that is going to be none other than defense. And of course, the way how this whole idea occurred to me was through an attack. So let me show you a game that I played against a guy that I regularly clash against on chess.com. He's none other than the Spanish Grandmaster Felix Izatachabarri, and we played here a Benoni, against which I played my recommended line, the H3 Benoni. If you happen to have my D4 club player repertoire, you know that this is the drill. If you don't have it, you should if you are a D4 player, because it's awesome. And I don't want to sound too cocky, but Izatachabarri, he chose a very iffy line with knight d7, which is just simply not good enough against this bishop d3 h3 setup. And pretty much out of the opening, he landed in a clearly inferior position. Like, there is no joy whatsoever in this position for black. The knight can't come to e5, they can't play b5. Basically nothing that in the Benoni more or less is taken for granted, or at least one of those things. It's just denied from black here big time. Rook e8, queen d2, knight h5, bishop back. I actually was playing perfect chess almost up to move 20. I'm very proud of that. Take, perfect, back, a5, perfect. Denying b5. At first sight, it may look like black has made some progress because now this bishop is not that great, but the reality is that black is planless. The d5 pawn is not a huge asset yet, but the ugly threat of, well, not ugly, but the threat of, you know, some kind of push and invasion on the light squares is already rearing its head. A knight reroute to b6 or c4 is also on the cards, and knight f4 is completely useless here because I just drop back king h to kick the knight out, and yeah, black has nothing to play for. Anyway, bishop d7, bishop f1 was still good, and this is where I started dropping the ball a little bit by playing, actually d6 was still good, knight d5 still good, but hereabouts is where I lost the thread a little bit. Apparently here best would have been queen c3. This move did not even occur to me. Brutally denying knight d4 by simply threatening c5. Also adding f4 to the equation. Note that queen c5, knight b3 may be still a bit problematic, but here after takes. Now I can take, because if the knight comes back here, then now the tactico is opening up. I missed all of that. I played bishop c4 because I thought that that was the way to go. It wasn't. King g7. Please ignore here the lots of mismarks. The computer is being computer and not particularly friendly about our game. I swung the rook across to g3, and that was the first time in the game when I thought that there's no way this guy is gonna hold my attack. Which is just totally wrong. But, you know, you can't help to have emotions in a game of chess, and I thought that being able to add this rook to here into the attack is gonna be such a significant boost on my kingside you know, shenanigans, that it's simply not possible that that's not gonna cut it. He played bishop e6. I played f4. By the way, according to the engine, it's 0.-12 here. I thought it was about +2 here. Queen d6. Of course, I knew that that was coming. f5 takes. And here, excuse me, was the second time when I thought that, man, I'm absolutely shredding the guy apart. Like, rook f1 is coming, f6 is coming, queen h6 is coming, everything is coming. He did. Was my thinking here. He played b6. And I played rook f1. Adding f6 ideas to the equation. He played f6. Best move. And I played queen d1 here, which, as you can see, gets a big fat thumbs up from the engine. And this was the third and final time in the game when I thought to myself, yeah, it's done. It's like, I don't know what he wants to do. My plan is to take queen h5, and the g5 pawn, the g6 pawn is not defensible because up on g5, I'm gonna take queen g5 check. Actually, there is queen g6. Oh, but then rook f7. Yeah, that was exactly what I thought I was gonna do. So here, queen h5. Here, take. And if queen g6, then rook f7. This was exactly what I calculated. Picking off the queen, CR, and if, I don't know, if they play, let's say, king h7, then, yeah, it's mate. So actually, they should probably go to h8, and then... Actually, this is mate too. Yeah. So, this was literally when I thought to myself for the final last time during the game, bruv, you are dead. I will show you how the game ended because it's quite instructive. Not the way I'm doing it, which is to press the wrong button. He played g5, which I really wanted to hide the double question marks. And I really failed to do that, didn't I? Okay, so g5 was played. I played h4. King h8, take, and here a comedy of errors started. I should have taken g5 here, but I got absolutely hooked on this idea of playing f6 here, denying both rooks to come up to the 7th. I thought I was being super smart here, and I thought after rook h3, rook h7, it's just carnage. There is no way to defend. Turns out that rook f8, rook g5, rook f6 is quite a good defense here. And there is still a fair bit of legwork to do for white here to prove the win. But my opponent believed that my idea was a genius. He played knight e6, trying to bring the knight back into the defense. But now queen h5 was just too much. Too many threats again. Note that the main one is knight h3, rook h3, excuse me. And again, there is no way for the black heavies to meaningfully interfere on the 7th because f7 and then hitting the rook, hitting the pawn. So he played knight f4, which I anticipated. Rook queen takes g5, excuse me. I saw the check, but of course mate threat is stronger there. There rather, not there. So knight e2 checking h2, and now the knight can't take because of mate. And they drop back to f8, but that allowed an even sexier checkmate with queen g7, queen takes, and pawn takes. Now, by now, I'm guessing you are wondering what on earth is going on with this video. I was talking about defense, and instead I'm blowing my own trumpet about checkmating a GM. Nah. Here comes the real deal, guys. Let's go back a little bit. Because it's one thing that I really like playing these rapid games and, you know, enjoy a little bit more time and appreciate the fact that I can find deeper ideas. But still, what I like the most about these games is the ability to then click analyze or click review, go through the game and see what I could have done better, how I could have played a better game. And because of I did that right after the game, I was still on this high of, wow man, that was a ripper of a game. The first shock came when I got back the review and it was only about 88 accuracy or thereabouts. I expected a 94, 95-ish. And I'm like, ooh, okay, so there was a fair few things missed there, I'm guessing. Let's have a look. And then I already showed you a fair number of misses that I have made earlier on. By the way, here too, after bishop c6, the mirage of the attack is very brutally shattered by this trade. And shockingly, after takes pawn f5, black has nothing to worry about. Nothing whatsoever. But that was not my greatest shock. My greatest shock was, and I would like to stress here the psychology of the situation, that when I played here queen d1, I thought I was killing the guy. And basically the time difference between me feeling that this was already game over and then playing out the rest of the game and then the review, there was virtually no time there, right? So I'm still thinking to myself that, oh, so good. Turns out, at best, this is equal. At the absolute best from white's perspective. And I'm like, what? And so I looked at it from Black's perspective, tried to figure out what the heck was going on. Of course, I couldn't. Then I had a look at it with the engine, and the simplicity of the defense just absolutely astounded me. I just sat there and I was like, how did I not see that? And so I did what I often do with such cases, and I took it to Twitter. And I posted the position from White's perspective, I think, because I wanted to be a little bit cheeky. And I asked people to tell me what they thought about the position with Black to move and what they would do. And every single person missed the defensive idea, and the vast majority of them recommended moves that would have lost immediately, which confirmed my theory, which is like, hello, I'm reinventing the wheel here. The defense in chess is a particularly tricky business, but I think that a really, really big chunk of that has a lot to do with psychology. And I'm not really a big believer of mixing outside chess sciences with chess, because I believe that chess is decided by good moves and bad ones. But I cannot help but recognize and acknowledge the fact that when you are constantly under the pump and there is this attack coming at you, it does have that effect on us chess players that we believe in it. Also, because usually attacks lead to beautiful conclusions and checkmates. That's how awesome chess is played. That's how we learn tactics. It's very unusual for any chess improver to find examples, unless they specifically look for it, and even then it's tricky, where there's a great attack and there's an even greater defense. And so the art of defense, in my opinion, is vastly overlooked, neglected, and people don't really enjoy engaging with it at all, which is somewhat understandable because everyone or most players prefer to attack rather than to defend. Not everyone, mind you, but most players. Most players. And so, once again, I would like to demonstrate this to you, that even in a position like this, if you have the right mentality, which is just psychology, right? That my position feels pretty solid. D4 knight is a monster. My king is under attack, but there is no huge discrepancy in terms of number of attackers versus defenders. So why should I lose this so badly? Let's see what the threat is. And actually at this point, I must admit my complete failure, because this is how I failed with White as the attacker, that I went like, I'm going to rip you up, take queen h5 and see ya, which I already demonstrated to you. Which goes to show my hubris, where I simply overlooked the fact that it is not checkers. And it turns out that Black has got the absolutely doorknob simple takes a5, introducing counterplay, by the way, and after f takes g6, a casual h6. And if I'm playing precisely with White, I might equalize. If I don't, I'm going to go down here. The attack is over. That's it. That's all she wrote. I can forget about it for the rest of the game. Astonishing stuff. Not even close. Like, I can't even attack either of the pawns. Rook f3 is under attack. Queen h5 does spectacularly nothing. By the time I get to this, that's like 7 eternities. Rook b2, rook g4. And when I get here, rook h8, and they are just going to laugh into my face. And I'm dead. And both my Grandmaster opponent and I were completely oblivious to it. He played g5, by the way, which turned the game from 0-0 to +3, which is basically just game over. And such a kindergarten defense, right? Like, just taken up. That's it. And if I start with queen h5, by the way, no difference. And that's the crudest shock of all. So here I need to be a little bit careful, because if I go in, then I get mated, right? So take, 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 here is mate. Note that, of course not, pawn takes first, because then we just repeat it. Yeah, and black is completely winning. But rook takes g6 is a brutal threat. So black here needs to be a little bit cautious. And if queen h5, then you simply pull the queen back. Again, an absolutely astonishingly simple, super basic defensive move. And black has covered it all. If takes, I push past. We already know the drill. And I've got nothing. If rook takes, that loses outright, because takes, takes, check, and now I can block the check on the 7th. Actually, I'm lying. There might be a perpetual check here. Is this perpy? Yeah, it is a perpetual. Hang on. So maybe I can pull back now. No. Okay, so this may hold the draw. This may hold the draw for white. Yeah? So if I take here, it looks like it's a draw. Yeah. And that's about it. Everything else, and black just wins. And once again, I just completely missed this. And the reason why I think I did with white is, of course, because I was on this high of attacking the heck out of this GM, and I was going to score a spectacular victory, and ta-da, let's go YouTube. And I think he missed it because he was in this defeatist mentality that the attack was coming and coming and coming, and it did look very scary. And it just looked so outwardly to allow this. And so we psychologically just shut down, and we don't even consider that, oh, actually, thank you, Umbrella Pawn, come again. And we are all set. And by the way, another reason why I'm particularly upset with myself for missing this is because it's a super basic pattern. It really is. There is a line which I didn't even think I would have included in this video, but now it occurred to me, I will show you. In the Sicilian Scheveningen, which also, if I get an analysis board, that is, which also, I can actually do it here, features this idea. This is going to take a fair few moves. Let's see if I can remember my theory that I learned about 25 years ago. Move order may not be perfectly on point, but give or take, we are good. Ish. So in this variation of the Scheveningen, there is this stock standard attacking pattern where I don't know how to best model it. Like, let's say in a position like this, I play a pass, and then I go in, and then I get mate threatened, and then I just go h5. It just looks like I'm out, right? Like we just got mated. And then you just play h5, they take, you go under, and that was all she wrote. I think the engineer wants us to take on c2 because it wins due to concrete reasons, but I want to show you this idea because you observe here a very similar concept, that a white pawn took the place of the black one, and now it's beautifully shielding the king. And that was exactly the story, not there, in this game. As well, when f5 came and then the capture came on g6. This is not a threat. It does nothing. And so, yeah, I don't know what moral to add to the end of this story, other than the fact that we need to embrace defense in the same way I think how people who dislike endgames need to embrace it. You need to find just one example in your life where you see an incredible defense pulled off. I wouldn't call this one that, but it's an example. And you go like, wow, this is actually an art in itself. And then I think one easily develops an affinity for that. It's easier to attack. It's more fun to attack. But I think there is a lot more points to be saved. Half a points and full points. If you are an extremely proficient defender, rather than being a very proficient attacker, because you know that goes without saying that we attack well, we calculate well, we go forward well. But when you defend well on top of that, oh boy, that's next level. And once again, no one, and I've got a Twitter following of Grandmasters, International Masters, high-rated players, a lot. Not a single person. Maybe one, I think, found it in the end. And that was it. It was crazy city. Just take, push past, and go for the counterplay. Anyway, like I said, this may be an intro into defensive videos and defensive ideas. I think it's a very wealthy and rich topic. There is, I think, a chessable course on it now, and the chess book too. So I will look into those. But for now, I'm going to call it a day. Thank you very much, guys, for watching. I will be back with the next video soon. Please don't forget to sub, to like, to super thank me all the chess. That makes me, you know, one step closer to 100k subs. Matter of decades, we will get there, guys. So yeah, thanks for watching. I will be back with the next soon. Bye.